Hello, you guys. Welcome to Cheer Chat tonight. It's Wednesday, hump day. I'm trying to get my behind live on Instagram. I hope you're doing well. Cheers. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cheer Chat. I feel like it's been a hot minute. It has been actually. There's been a lot going on, exciting stuff, but just kept me very, very busy. I haven't even been on social media like that. So, I've had a lot to catch up on. And I really wanted to hear from you guys of what you guys wanted to talk about. So thank you to everybody who wrote in all these interesting topics to discuss. I have a few things on my mind too. Um, but, let's just let people join and get settled. God, I feel like the winter is like hitting my skin so bad. Like I feel like so pale. It's not cute at the moment. I feel like I need to change the color of this lamp lighting. I hope everybody's been enjoying. It says pause due to poor connection. Get it together, Instagram. I hope everybody's been enjoying the winter so far. I know the weather is going crazy in a couple parts of the country. We're supposed to get snow in Seattle apparently next week. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We're just going to get started because I feel like today's been a day. Um, oh, you guys, while it's just like happy news time, um, you guys know I love my cup, my cheer chat with Makiba, but um, this is not rose tonight, you guys. I want to give a shout out to my boy Reese, who put me on when I was in Baltimore at the Ravens game to rose margarita, you guys. It is a mix that I would have never put together in terms of something tasting good, especially with my rose. You know, you don't mess around with rose, it's good the way it is. But Jose Cuervo, Golden Margarita, find it, okay? It's got Grand Marnier, rose, triple sec, and freaking tequila. Who knew? But it's good. It's so smooth. It tastes yummy. It's my new jam. I took it to two different parties over the weekend, and it was a hit. So I'm sprung. I said sprung. I'm old, whatever. It's so good. Yes, it's already mixed, and it's not something that you have to like add anything to. It's not a mixer, just so you know. Don't add anything to it. It gets you where you need to go all by itself. It comes in a huge bottle, so you don't really, I would show it to you guys, but then I thought I'd look like a lush. So it's already mixed. You don't have to do anything. Jose Cuervo. I got it at Target. I don't know. It took a while to find it. I kept thinking I needed to like find some special liquor store or something, but thank me later. Let me know what you think. Don't thank me. Thank my boy. He was the one that put me onto it. But it's so good. I'm about to take a nice sip, and you guys let me know how you're doing, and we'll just get started. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but waking up this morning to seeing the news about Twitch was just like devastating. I've had a lump in my throat all day long. Um, I still don't even really have words. It's just heartbreaking on so many levels. Seeing everybody posting about the impact that he's made in their lives is also truly touching. I just want to open the floor to anybody who had experiences with Twitch that they want to share. Um, let's just try to celebrate his life. I mean, my heart goes out to his wife and his children. Um, and I think just from some posts that I've been seeing, it's just really, I think, worth noting that, in our space, right? Like, I think dance in general, you guys are usually like, we're the life of the party. Typically, we're always the one lifting everybody up as cheerleaders, bringing a smile to everybody around us. And, everybody knows how to put on that face, right? Even in the face of like a lot of adversity and private struggles and battles. And I just think, you know, it's just heartbreaking to, and for anyone to feel like there's um, no other solution or no one that they can turn to. And so just seeing a lot of posts just stressing the importance of not just mental health, but just that feeling of like, I can put my wall down and just say things are not okay. And I just hope that in this community, especially for men, I think, obviously I'm not a man, but I think it's just not as common to express your emotions or things that you're struggling with as a young man. And 40 years old is just so young, and we don't know what he was dealing with. But it just broke my heart. the floor is open for people who want to kind of share the impact that he's made in their lives. I just think it's just so heartbreaking. Whenever I think of him, I smile. Um, Definitely watch him on So You Think You Can Dance. Clearly had a life before that. And just a lot of people in our community were touched by him. So I just wanted to express my condolences and, send prayers for his family. I just think it hit this community pretty hard. And my day was just shot from there. It's just like a perpetual lump in my throat. And um, but the space is open to talk about him and his impact, his legacy, his bright light. And I think there's, like I said, so many people in this space that come to mind that just make you smile and feel good all the time. And you guys are probably that person for everybody in your life. And I just want there to feel like there's that sense of community, right? Where you have somewhere that you can go or someone that you can turn to, somebody who knows this world too, like all the pressure, all of the stress, the balancing, the juggling, like whatever you're going through. I guarantee there's somebody who can relate to you, or just even if they can't specifically speak to what you're dealing with, that would be there for you in a heartbeat. So ugh, I just wanted to speak on that. And it's hard to kind of move past that, but let's just take care of ourselves, take care of each other, and don't be afraid to reach out. Please don't. I mean, I'm here. I'm sure all your teammates and people would love to support one another, good, bad, and ugly, right? So, um, again, join me, whatever you do. Join to whatever. Share your experiences. It's open the entire live to talk about Twitch. But I did put out, like, in the story, for you guys to tell me was on your mind, right? And so one of the big things, obviously, because this past weekend, I think, were the first Pro Bowl selections. And so we're definitely going to talk about that. And I posted in the story a lot of everybody else's topics that they submitted. And so we're just going to, float through it, get through a lot of these little conversations. And then I have a question for you guys that I'll pose well, maybe I shouldn't pose it at the end because I want to hear from you. Think about it and let me know what your thoughts are later if you want to. And I'll try to repeat it as people join. Let me start with my question. Okay. So um, I have been thinking, because it's like, it's the middle of the season and I haven't gone to as many games as I would like to yet. A lot of my travel that I'm planning is actually in the spring, but you know how, like, I've been to a couple football games, I'll say that. And I watch, everybody perform. And of course, I was in this space myself, performing for 5 years. And you guys know what it's like when you go out there after practicing all week long, drilling these routines in, like really getting everything down and perfect. And you perform on the court, on the field. And then this is truth behind the palms, right? Like, I can just say it like it is. Like, you don't really get like a roaring applause all the time, or maybe it just like seemingly falls flat and there isn't much of a reaction. And I hated that. I mean, Brie and Brittany used to talk about that all the time. It's like you dance your behind off, you dance your heart out, and then it's just kind of like nothing. And I mean, if we're going to keep it all the way real, I mean, even the times like a couple years ago, traveling to different games, it's never the applause that I think you guys deserve. And I just wanted to get your thoughts because, when you think about game day entertainment and what our role is, and, I've heard us like discuss in different, settings, like the people that you're dancing for don't really know, they wouldn't know you know, name a trick. Like, they wouldn't know that from the simplest move because they may not be dancers and they may not know this space as well. But what do you guys think? I think your opinion like really matters on this, because what do you think that we could be doing as dancers and performers that would be more engaging with the audience? Like, what do you think that looks like? I mean, I know we have our theories of like why they may not connect because they don't know dance like that, but what would you do about that if you were like in charge of game day entertainment? I'm just curious. Share your thoughts. It's just something that's been on my mind. Like, if we could kind of remix what we're doing out there to engage in fans so that we were getting more of a reaction, what would that look like? Food for thought. I want to hear from you. I should have put it in the dang on story, but I forgot. Okay. It's on my mind. I want to hear your thoughts because you guys are the ones out there busting your behinds. And, if you're not getting the reaction from fans that you would want, what would you do if you were in charge? That's my question. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, y'all ready to talk Pro Bowl? It's so exciting. I love this time of year. It's like, the holidays. People are dressing up in their little holiday outfits, which I think I'm going to have to do a whole different cheer chat about my favorite holiday uniforms. Kayla, my intern, came up with that idea, and I think it's so cute for us to kind of talk through our favorite holiday costumes. And there's some new ones that are out right now, so yes, that's happening. But one of the greatest gifts is the announcement of Pro Bowl cheerleaders, and that was one of the topics that people wanted to talk about, just like how different teams go about selecting their Pro Bowl cheerleaders and if a male might be selected this year, just kind of things like that. And so I know Brittany and I, was that first season or second season? We had a whole Pro Bowl cheerleaders episode where we were so young with it. I mean, we didn't really know how a lot of different teams picked their cheerleaders. I mean, it seems to be either your team actually votes, your fans vote. I know the Baltimore Ravens does it that way too. Um, or your director selects the Pro Bowl cheerleader. But in any case, I don't know how these teams that I'll mention selected their cheerleaders, but they made their announcements, and it's always a big to do on game day with just everybody surrounding them with love and excitement, and it's just really cool to see. So the Arizona Cardinals cheerleaders selected Gabby. She's again, I'm going off of bios, y'all. I didn't have time to do extensive research and stalk people, but she is a third-year veteran from Arizona. She's a nursing student at Arizona State University. And she just, seems like a great representative. I mean, I don't know these cheerleaders very well, but it's so exciting to kind of get to know more about them as they've been selected. So congratulations, Gabby. The Detroit Lions cheerleader selected Allison. If you guys have some stuff in the comments that you want to say about your person, please pepper in some commentary. It's all good. I would love to, like I said, just give a whole, like Brittany and I did a whole episode on each Pro Bowl cheerleader. We took turns and we like dug up as much information as we could. It was so fun. But each week or each time I go live, I'll just be mentioning more of the Pro Bowl announcements. But for now, Allison from the Detroit Lions cheerleaders, congratulations. He's a second-year captain and a 5-year veteran. It sounds like she's a dance teacher based on some video that I watched. And then we have Haley from the San Francisco Gold Rush. I've been obsessed with her for quite a while. She's a 6-year vet, which I think is so cool. She won the Team Spirit Award last year. So, I mean, obviously a very respected member of her squad. But she's a hairstylist, which makes sense because of her fabulous hair. If you do not know who she is, she's got this I feel like it's like a signature color. It's like gray, but not quite gray. I don't even know how to, I have questions for her. Haley, your hair is fabulous, but she's a hairstylist and owns her own salon. She commutes, you guys, from San Francisco back home to Utah. She has a salon that she's owned for 14 years, and she's maintained her clients by commuting back and forth. Like, talk about some goddamn dedication. She said she's been on over 250 flights in between San Francisco and Utah, but I thought that was really, really dope. And then last but not least, we have the Seattle Seahawks dancers. They selected Victoria. She is a 4th-year veteran and a squad leader. And I mean, you guys know this is my team, right? I mean, Seattle Seahawks. Again, we were the Seagulls, but just seeing the first African American selected in quite some time is just really nice to see. Victoria, I'm sure, is pretty excited, but it's just such, all of you guys, I know how hard you work, and to be selected by your team is a huge honor. So I'm just really excited for your journey that's up and coming. I am really just trying to figure out if I can pull off coming to Pro Bowl again this year. I feel like I just can't miss it. It's in Vegas again. If you're going, let me know. I'm trying to convince Brittany to come with me too. But it would be nice to just to watch the celebration. I mean, it's such a beautiful week for you all. And last year I couldn't go to as many like fan events as I wanted to. And I don't like that. I need to see more than just the game. And that's all I really was able to go to last year. So if I can pull off more days, I will be there and trying to report on it. Let's talk about male Pro Bowl cheerleaders though. Do you guys see it happening? I mean, I swore last year that it was going to be Quentin from the Rams. I thought or Napoleon from the Rams. Like, I just thought it was going to be one of the OGs breaking into the NFL dancing. Yes. Ooh, and Sammy Olsen. Oh. Oh, did they select? Hold please. Did I miss that somehow? One second, y'all. I did not know that the Rams had selected their Pro Bowl cheerleader. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I swear I just looked. Any hoodles, that's exciting. Thank you so much for letting me know. How did I miss that? The point is, in terms of a male Pro Bowl cheerleader, I'm here for it. I don't know when it's going to happen, and I'm excited for the moment that it happens. I thought it would have been last year. Um, Announced today. Okay, thank you for making me. Because I'm like, how the hell did I miss this? I literally just went to the everybody's page. So today she was announced. Okay, did not catch it because she didn't have the sash or anything. Congratulations, Sammy. That is so awesome. Um, Yay. Okay, so anyway, hot off the press today. Wasn't going crazy. I saw the picture, but it didn't look like a Pro Bowl announcement, like with the little logo in the background, blah, 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 blah. That's very exciting. And I hate that I don't have my facts on you, Sammy, but I know that you are a veteran and that you have been a standout on the scene for quite some time. So I'll have my report on you next week. So I'll be more prepared. On that note, I'm going to take a drink. I'm glad it was just announced today, so I don't feel too bad. But back to the male Pro Bowl cheerleaders. I think our space has evolved where we're ready for it. We're here for it. I think it's such an honor that you just work hard to deserve. And I just feel like, a few years past the integration of like our space being co-ed, I think hey, Ray, I think it's about time. I mean, I think it's been time, but I feel like this year might be the year that we see a male Pro Bowl cheerleader selected. And I will like most definitely be talking about it if it happens. I mean, I have my ideas, but I'm sure you guys have your ideas. But it would be a beautiful thing to see. Again, our space has just changed so much, and just seeing that recognition would just be really, really cool and inspirational, right? Um, okay, I'm kind of over the NBA not having like their all-star cheerleaders, or not cheerleaders, but their all-star dancers like they used to. So I decided like 20 minutes ago that I'm gonna pick my own freaking all-star recognition kind of awards for NBA. Clearly, I don't know the NBA space that well, but I just feel like we should have our own celebration of amazing people. So I'm going to do my own little honors, my own All Star honors. I think it's just, we have it in the NFL with Pro Bowl. I'd love to see some recognition of our superstars. You guys are, again, all superstars to me. So I made that up. And so All Star Weekend, feel free. I'll do something more to promote it, and you guys can kind of nominate people. We'll figure something out. But I just think we should have our own way of celebrating our space because nobody else is going to do it. Okay. The end. All right. So now, topics that you guys wrote in about. All right. We're going to deal with an easy one first. Somebody had mentioned, it's audition season, or you're thinking about it. You're probably dreading it. You're trying to think, like, should I, or I ate a lot of Thanksgiving. Should I calm down? I mean, there's still the rest of the holidays to get through, and you're just kind of, I could feel the anxiety building around auditions. And I think one of the concerns that somebody raised was around age, and wondering if, like, you're getting too old, or you're too old to audition for a team. And I just want to hop on that one because, like I said, it's just easy. I think it's just such a stereotype that to think that, like, at a certain age you're maxed out of doing this for any reason whatsoever. I think if it's still in your heart to do it, if you're willing to train and work hard to prepare to do it, um, literally nothing should stop you. Like, being a parent shouldn't stop you, having a job shouldn't stop you. Like, nothing should. There's no real reason on the green earth that you should talk yourself out of talk yourself out of this opportunity if it's something that your heart desires. First and foremost, in terms of age, like, I know sometimes in looking at, maybe the social media of some of these accounts or the teams, it feels like a lot of people are fresh out of college, or maybe it skews young. But I will tell you, there's just something, people have been writing in response to that story, just that there are people in their team that are in their 40s. Um, that they were the oldest cheerleader on their team for several years. Like, just please, like, let's just drop that one as something to hold on to, of like feeling that insecurity around age. I just think if you are taking care of your body, you are mentally prepared for just the craziness of it all, right? Because it is a lot to balance, but just know you bring so much to the table in terms of like maturity, life experience. Like these are all strengths, and I don't think you should ever view that as like something that will hold you back. You know what I mean? Like you've lived more, and you have. I just think you can express yourself so much more through your dance and through your public speaking. Like there's just so much involved with stepping into these roles, and I think with more life experience, you just feel more comfortable doing that. So I think having some age under your belt is great. I don't. I'll spare you my whole life story, but I started in this game hella late, and yeah, I cheered from like 33, 34, no, 34 ish. Yeah, whatever. 34 to basically close to 40. So it can be done. um, it will be done if that's what you want to do. So I just say go for it. And you're probably thinking this, the person that wrote in, and you're probably like hella young. So old is relative. And one of my favorite quotes that I'm probably going to jack up is what would you, something like, what would you dare to dream if age wasn't an issue, or something like that. I messed it up, but it was one of my favorite quotes of like age should not be something that caps your ideas of possibilities for yourself. And I messed up the quote, but that's the point of it. Like, what would you dream of doing if you weren't thinking about how old you are? And I just hope that whoever wrote that in is hearing me right now. You can absolutely do it. There's so many other people who responded to this um, post as well, just saying that absolutely you can do it. So let's just prepare and get into it. One of the other comments, and I think it's kind of related. Hey, Sammy, congratulations. Napoleon hit me to it. I'm so sorry that I did not realize that you were a Pro Bowl cheerleader. Congratulations. And next week, I'll be talking about you in more detail because it was so hot off the press, I didn't get to prepare for it. So, congratulations. Okay. But somebody wrote in, and this is something that I can absolutely relate to, of just kind of feeling like this imposter syndrome when it comes to auditions because you don't have formal dance training. And, when I just mentioned like my own story of like coming into this space really late, I also think about, and I'll spare you guys my age right now, but if I were considering coming into this space of becoming a professional cheerleader at the industry has changed a lot, and we've talked about it a lot, of the shift to a lot more emphasis on technical training with a lot of the teams auditions process. And I think I definitely get the imposter syndrome of feeling like maybe if you are a veteran and you've made the team year after year, but you're seeing that the talent coming onto the team is different, and like they're doing a lot more tricks and all these different things now. It's a real concern. And I think the best way that I can put it, and this is just my 2 cents, you guys can definitely chime in, is just like, it's just we have to constantly be like evolving, right? Like, I think any expectation that, maybe what was good enough to get onto the squad is going to be good enough to keep you on the squad. We all know that that's like a myth. You have to constantly like level up and improve year to year and all of that stuff. And if that means like taking some dance classes and learning some tricks that, maybe you don't have the benefit of maybe like training all your life, but at the end of the day, the classes are available. There's so many programs that are available um, that really do work on just building blocks, right? So if you are wanting to get a few tricks that you can incorporate into your audition routines, there are programs that really specifically try to help you in that area. And so I just think you should do your research. Um, I think of whatever you think is something that you'd want to work on to kind of make up for the fact that you don't have like crazy dance training. Like, I just think there's programs that speak to that. Um, Cultivate Code, Next Level Prep. I just think wherever you feel like you can learn how to kind of and it's not like you have some like short window to learn it, but you kind of do in a sense, like preparing for audition season. But just go at it, man. Like, I mean, I know for myself that that's what I would have to do if I were going to call myself coming out of retirement, which I'm not. But I would have a lot to catch up on and a lot to really commit to mentally as well, right? That these are things that I'm just going to push forward because the space has changed, the expectations are different, and I still want to do this, and I'm not going to give up on myself. I mean, somebody that comes to mind, you guys, and I would encourage you to reach out to her too because she's very open about it. Javon from the St. Louis, well, Okay, this is good, but it's not that good. Wow, I said St. Louis, the New Orleans Saints crew. But she, she had mentioned just like wanting to try new things and like wanting to learn how to tumble, I think it was. And like she just had like different goals that I saw her post on social media about. And I think she just tackled it, went after it, tried something new, something scary. And I think she saw that these were things that, would help her be successful on her team. And I just think that kind of attitude about like growth and putting yourself out there. I mean, I think that's the only way to get out of imposter syndrome is just really kind of challenging yourself and pushing yourself and being able to. I mean, there's fake it till you make it, don't get me wrong. And I definitely did that my dang on self, not having any formal training too. But, there was also like a commitment to try to work hard to figure out how to fake it less and actually rely on the fact that I've worked really hard and I'm training and trying to figure things out. But give yourself some grace. I just think, coming at it with like commitment and like and just that open mindset around evolving and continuing to grow, I think that will serve you so well. I mean, because it is getting it's always been competitive, right? Always, and it's getting even more competitive. So I just think you have to arm yourself with what information and technique and training that you think will help highlight your skills, and just know that it's a full picture. You guys know this. It's not just the techniques that you throw on in auditions. It's how well rounded you are. And if techniques and tricks was not my jam, I mean, you best believe I would be playing up every goddamn other thing I could to really stand out in front of the judges. So, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with doing a program, a prep program, even if you've been a vet for a long time. So, continuous growth is what I would kind of recommend to the person that wrote in about that. You guys can join in too, but somebody else had asked for audition tips, just staying on track during the holidays and there's just so many tips out there. I wish this was just like a audition tip factory where I can just spill it out. There's been a few episodes about auditions. You can feel free to go back and listen to those episodes. One episode I pulled together like all the audition advice from a lot of the directors and people that I've talked to. It's probably a jacked up editing job, but I tried my best. But there's a lot of audition tip type information and a lot of accounts. I'll start to try to like repost a lot of like helpful information that I see that's out there. Um, like I said, I mean, there's some programs. I know auditions are right around the corner, but there's a plethora of them out there, and maybe it's just some individual coaching that you might need, or talking through like specific areas of concern and size. I recommend getting consultations with any of the programs that are new. There's new ones popping up all the time, so I'm not going to try to spit out a bunch of tips right at the moment. I know that I've compiled a bunch of them in different episodes, but let's talk about staying on track during the holidays because we all know that that is so hard. I mean, between drinking, perhaps, and like, your family's cooking, like nobody can turn that down. I mean, that was like the hardest time of year for me was like Thanksgiving through Christmas. And yes, you layer in your holiday outfits, but it wasn't like you could just like let it all go. So, this is my advice. I don't think, even though we think like when you're on these teams, okay, or maybe you're not on a team and you're just like preparing, but you think that every little, you're worried so much about like pounds and the appearance of things, but it's not like you're gonna just do something so drastic and gain like 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's gonna like eating a piece of freaking pie or mac and cheese or whatever is not gonna make some drastic behind difference at the end of the day. I am not a nutritionist, I am not a dietitian. I'm just saying I'm just a realist and I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you guys in terms of like how I approached it. I just think that if you've been trying to do right all year long or all season long, and it's just a matter of like, a holiday here or there, I just think don't waste your holidays and your good times with your family being so paranoid about what some meal is going to do to your body overall. Now, I think obviously repeated habits, and if you just kind of aren't doing anything else, like will that show up in the way that your appearance and how you, if you're not working out at all, are you going to suffer on a game day because you're huffing and puffing and you're not out of, but like nobody's going to let themselves go that much. So I'm just saying like moderation, man. But I think you should enjoy yourself. I really do think that we are so hard on ourselves when we're on these teams and when we're trying to get on these teams. It's actually like kind of sad when you think about it. Like when I think back on, being at family events like or holidays like Thanksgiving, and how I kept telling myself I had to like miss out or pass on this, pass on that, and just not enjoy the moment with them because I was so worried about weigh-ins. You don't have them anymore, thank God, you guys. But that's what my reality was. And so I just think if I could go back in time, I probably would have just like relaxed just a tinge because like I think you can balance out like what you may do to enjoy yourself and enjoy your relatives and enjoy this time of the year with some extra hard work. And as long as it's not an extended period of time of just being lax with yourself, like give yourself some grace. Okay? Like that, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but that's just my 2 cents. I just think we are really, really hard on ourselves. And this is a time of year where you should be allowed to enjoy your family and your friends. It paused. I was just saying this is a time of year to enjoy your family and your friends. And um, I think everything with moderation. And if you're willing to kind of like bust it really hard when you get back on it, just take care of business, but enjoy. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Stay on track, keep your goals. Don't just let yourself completely go, but enjoy. That's my advice. And plus, my rose margarita said so. Okay. Somebody asked to talk about all these NFL teams that are missing cheerleaders and what my thoughts are on starting a new team. What do you guys think? All right, I'm going to name all the teams that don't have cheerleaders. And some of these are historic reasons, and I don't think it's going to change. You have owners who have sworn off that they will never have cheerleaders as long as they live. And I forgot which owner said that, but some of these climates are really, really cold. Some of these teams screwed over their cheerleaders, and they probably aren't going to have them again. Who knows? But here are the ones that don't have them: the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants, the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Green Bay Packers. So we have 32 teams in the NFL. That's 8 teams that don't have them. Some of them have never had them or swore they were never going to have them again. I still have not read, you guys, my Chicago Bears. Like, there was a whole book that somebody wrote who used to be one of I forget what they called them, the Chicago Bears cheerleaders. Damn it, what were they called? I still have, it's called Missing from the Sidelines. And I've been wanting to read that book. I bought the book and still have not gotten through it. It's like a manual, but it's like a collection of pictures. Um, it was some scandal and some situation. Honey bears, thank you. Thank you. I could not think of it to save my life. But yes, I want to hear the mystery and kind of like the history of what happened because they were very, very popular back in the day. And they were just, I mean, this was around the time of like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Like every team was like, we want to do that. And every team was kind of like starting their own squad. And something ended up going on with the Honey Bears. And they just nixed the program. The Giants, I want to say it's the Giants. Thank you, you guys. I want to say it's the Giants owner who was just like, we're never having cheerleaders as long as I'm around, or something along those lines. You guys know the Jets cheerleaders have been on hiatus for this past season. We don't know why. We don't know how maybe they're rebranding and coming out as something new next season. I don't know why it took a whole season to figure it out. I'm a little concerned about that, but hopefully, all you have right now is basketball in terms of like the major leagues for dance in the New York area, which is just crazy to me. Cleveland Browns, I don't know the story as to why they've never had cheerleaders other than maybe it just being too damn cold. Buffalo Bills, you guys hopefully know just from talking and talking and talking about unionization that when their cheerleaders tried to unionize, um, I think the litigation is probably still ongoing, but they basically nixed their program because the women spoke up about pay, and there was a whole lawsuit again for it's probably been 10 years now. This lawsuit, I want to say, it's like 2012 or something. So um, that's right. Okay, thank you. Somebody says, I believe when the original owner of the Bears died, the daughter took over and then removed the squad. Thank you. I think that's right. It's interesting how women sometimes are just not our friends. But yeah, so the Buffalo Bills, do I ever see them bringing back a cheerleading team? Not while this litigation's pending. I don't see it, but miracles happen. The Los Angeles Chargers, again, off the grid for the past few seasons now. It happened before COVID, so I don't think they can use that as an excuse. It's just been dark. And again, I'm not the media. I want to call and ask and be like, do you have a statement that you'd like to give as to why there are no more Charger girls or Charger dancers? Figure, something. But all I've heard are whispers, and I don't know if they're ever going to come back. Pittsburgh Steelers, cold. I don't see cheerleaders ever being in Pittsburgh for a game, but I don't know if there was a reason within their franchise history as to why they don't have them. Green Bay Packers, I feel like they used to have like high school cheerleaders like perform at games, which I thought was very odd and interesting, but they don't have them either. Again, a very, very cold climate. And I know that for a lot of you guys are out there in all the elements too, but those, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, even Buffalo, like, no thanks. That's too cold. Oh my gosh. I mean, I shudder thinking about it. But anyway, they don't have them. In terms of starting a new team, I think with the NFL and cheerleaders and like, there's been a lot of improvements, but I don't see there being like some openness to kind of starting a new program. I You guys let me know what you think, but I just kind of for these franchises in particular, I could maybe see the Los Angeles Chargers finally figuring their life out, maybe even the Jets. But the other ones that have just have years and years and years not had any cheerleaders, I just don't see it happening. And maybe that's, their fan base. I don't really know what goes into that thought process, but in their minds, it's probably it's not broke, so why fix it kind of a scenario. Um, I think what's more exciting, you guys, is like all of these new leagues that are forming. You've got, I mean, I don't know about cheerleaders, there's some pickleball, but there's a bunch of new leagues for different sports that are getting all the rave right now. Lacrosse teams, um, I'm blanking, but a lot of athletes are actually buying teams or investing in these leagues. So, if anything, I see new teams forming for some of these newer professional sports leagues that are forming because some of them value entertainment and dancers and want to have something to kind of excite fans. So, if anything, I would think that there's more of an opportunity for new dance or entertainment teams with other sports. That's just or like some of like the G League teams or something like that, but not so much trying to crack open some of these NFL teams that have just for years not been with the shits. Um, okay, I think that was like all the topics that you guys wrote in about. I'm gonna pause for the cause and have a little sip. Again, I'm gonna make this plug for Rose Margarita by Jose Cuervo with Grand Marnier, Rose, and triple sec and tequila. It's amazing. Try it. Um, the next topic for the next time I go live, even though it's a doom and gloom, horrible topic, in this space, because of the way that I try to cover things, it would not be right to not discuss some of the developments that have happened as of late with the Washington Commanders football team. I have not forgotten. I have been following. And it's just such a tricky situation because it's drawn out so dang on long, and it's no, I think people may have like moved past it in their minds. It's not that I want to like hold on to it desperately, but it's just so damning, like how this whole thing has been treated. But the U.S. Congress, the Oversight Committee, got involved probably maybe at the very beginning of the year. I don't remember how long, but they decided to do an investigation, and they finally released the final report from that. It is very long, and I did not get a chance to read it. You guys know how thorough I am. I want to read every little freaking detail, and just talk about it in this space and open the door to a lot of people who've been fighting this good fight and keeping the pressure on for them to actually do right by these women. And it's something that's really important. And if nobody cares, it should be us that care about how we're treated. And we just had the freaking Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders involved in that whole situation that came to light of somebody peeping in on them while they're changing. That settled, so it didn't make it to court. But this type of abuse happens, and it's just I don't know. It's just an indicator of like the lack of respect for women, and from the NFL's response, different owners' response to the report coming out. I just think it's something that we need to talk about. So I'm going to be ready to talk about that the next time I go live. Be prepared. It's just something that we should care about. I think they've been through the women who have their images and likeness created or turned into soft porn for executives. I mean, I just think they've been through a lot coming forward and trying to um, participate in these investigations. They've been harassed, they've been subjected to so much online crap from fans or just a-holes. And, they deserve support and respect and justice from all of this. And I just think for this being the Pro Cheerleading podcast, that it's something that I want to extend just to kind of, maybe not a play by play of like everything that's happened, but I want to get through that dang on report and I want to talk about it. So, um, and then, because that'll be like gloomy, we're going to talk about winter holiday uniforms because I also want to um, kind of go through and pick my favorites, both from like NBA, NFL. I think there's some really cute outfit ideas that have popped up and some really creative ones as well. I did a whole episode with my girls um, when Brittany and I were doing it together, and we just did a whole brunch, and we had like the whole PowerPoint with all the different teams and their uniforms. We did it for NFL, and it was so much fun. And it will be very, very hard on Instagram to like show you what I'm talking about. So I have to figure out how to make this work. But I think holiday cheer, why not get into it? And maybe some of my favorite moments from 2022, and definitely more Pro Bowl announcements. That's what I want to talk about. I'm going to pose my question that I posed at the very beginning to people, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I wanted to kind of get y'all's thoughts on how you would address kind of the lack of fan engagement when you're out there performing your butt off. You've been practicing your butt off all week. You do this dance routine, and you're, of course, expecting some kind of response or cheering or any. And I know it's not what you deserve. It's not what you kind of. I know what that feels like, and I'm not just making this shit up. Like, we can act like people go crazy for us and they're like hella into it, but sometimes they're really just not. And because you guys are the ones that are out there and you are interacting with fans before games, like, I just want your thoughts. Like, if you could like make certain improvements to how you're utilized on game day, or um, how to kind of change that dynamic, what would you say and what would you change? I have thoughts, I have ideas, but I just really wanted to hear from you guys because you're the one that experiences it. And I just think it's very, very possible that people can get the wrong idea of the value that you guys bring to game day because of that lack of reaction, if you will, from fans. And so it's something that's been on my mind, and I want to kind of get y'all's thoughts on it too. It's just like, how can we address that? I guess is just a very broad question, and I would love your thoughts. I forgot to put in my story, but it's kind of one you got to talk out anyway. But again, I value you guys. I know how hard you work. I hope you are having an amazing season. I'm going to try to plug back into social media so I can see what all is going on. But those are the hot topics that people wanted to discuss today. And next time, I will be going through the whole congressional report on the Washington Commanders and also talking some holiday uniforms. Anything else? Did I miss any other Pro Bowl announcements? Maybe there's going to be one tomorrow. Who plays Thursday Night Football? I meant to look that up before I started. But congratulations to everybody. Good luck to everybody. I know what it feels like, I'm sure, to be anticipating and hoping that your hard work has not gone unnoticed. Again, I would love to do something to recognize people in the NBA space um, for all-star purposes. Like, everybody should have like a little celebration of the person on their team who's made the best impact, like an MVP, if you will. So I'm going to pick them. And I'd love to hear from you if you have people that you have in mind. On that note, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my rose margarita. Please go get it and try it and let me know what you think. And if there's nothing else, you guys, please keep Twitch's family in your prayers. I mean, again, not to end on that note, but it's been a rough day and a very, very tragic loss for this community. So, on that note, I'm going to let you guys go, but I thank you for joining me, and I will see you ideally next week before the holiday. Enjoy your family and eat some food and work out later. Okay, talk to y'all later. Of course, my mouse won't go over here.